Hi and everyone, and today I'm going to introduce our project, which is hospital management system, and it's done by my team, which has Nelson Chusinger, Ng Li Teng, Kong Jia Yi, and me, Ng Zheng Ying. And first of all, I'm going to explain about the header. And for our project, we're going to use the linked list and also the queue. First of all, right here you can see we're using the linked list to record the patients info. And for this one, PID, which is stands for patient ID, and for the next one is P status, and this means the patient status. And for the next one is this one, the header pointer and the tail pointer. We will use this. This is because we use the queue. That's why we need to use these two pointer. And after that, right here we can see that we got add patient, and this we'll use for add patients info. And for the next one is delete patients info. Next one is queue front 1. 1 will stands for the patient's ID, and for the 2 it will represent the patient status. Queue front is will use to search or show the information that the first one information, and for the queue real will use to show the last one information. And for this one will help us to search the patient's info, and this one empty will use to check whether the queue is empty or not. And for sort list, we'll use to sort the patient's info by ascending. And for the last one, we will use to print the list of the patient. After that, this one is the constructor. And for this one, it's empty. It is empty. And the next one is add patient. We need to key in the patient ID and the patient status, and it will link to the next one automatically. And right here it will test if queue is not empty, and right here end of the add patient. For the next one, it is remove patient. First of all, it will test if the queue is empty or not. If it is empty, it will show this one, the list is empty. Else it will continue for the next step. It will run this condition. If it's fulfilled this condition to delete the patient, and right here it will end for the remove patient. Okay, for the next one is queue front 1. 1 is stand for the patient ID. It will run this status, run this condition for the queue front 1, and for this queue front 2 is for the patient status. It will find or search the first thing in front of the patient status. And for this one, queue real 1, it will search or find the last thing of the patient ID. For the queue real 2, it will search for the last for the patient status. After that is the search node. It will help us to search by if we want to search, we will need to put in the patient ID and the patient status, and then it will help us to search and print out. So this one is sort list. The people will generate this code to help us sort by ascending. It iterates through list until next is full, and compare the first 2 elements, and then the second element will be minimum if smaller than first element. And for this one is increment of the node, and this one also. For the last one, it will reset the temp. And for this one, print list, it will print out the output, which is queue front 1 and queue front 2 at the end of the print list.
So now is the CPP file, which named by main.cpp. At first, we will see the hospital is using 2 data types, which is integer and character. So we can know that the integer is used for the patient ID and the character used for the patient status. So we can see here, it will list out some data variable which is integer and character. At first, it will show this sentence like "Hello, the system is starting." So after that, it will show the sentence like "add or delete the patient info." So we can choose to undergo the add or delete operation. So like I am choosing the add operation, so I need to key in A. So if I choose A, it will undergo this. Like I will need to type in the patient ID in integer like 1, and the next will type in the type of status for the patient like undetermined, fair, serious. So it will become UFS. So I will type in U. It will undergo. Do you need to enter again? Like here, continue to add. So after that, if I press Y, it will go back to here to undergo the add operation again. But if I enter like out of A or D, it will come here. Yeah, here. It will need to key in again due to the data is invalid. So if I key in D, it will go to the delete operation. Like it will remove one recover patient. So this is the queue implementation. It will remove the first one patient ID and status. So you can see after we remove the patient, it will show the latest first patient ID and status. So it will ask you to want to remove again or not. So if I press Y, it will remove one patient again. So the latest first patient and ID will renew again. So after that, if I end the remove the delete operation, it will come to do you want to operate again? Which means like you want to continue to add or delete operation or not. If I press yes, it will undergo. You need to choose add or delete. So if I press end, it will end the operation. So now it will come to the first patient ID and status and the last patient ID and status. And due to the queue is need to show the queue front and rear, so it will show the first and last patient in front. So the next it will sorting the list of patient. Like when we key in the patient ID, like first patient is ID is 1, the second patient ID is 23, the third patient ID is 15 like that. So usually without the sorting, the list will be the first one patient is ID 1, second patient is ID 20 something, and the next patient is 15 there. After sorting, it will become the ID in the ascending order, like 1, 15, 20 something there. So after you sort the list, it will display the list, the patient list. Then you can undergo the search operation, like search the patient ID and status. You just need to key in the patient ID to search the info, but need to caution in here, like press S to start the searching. If you didn't press the S to start the S, you will end the program straight. So that's all.
So now I will start to run the system. And for these situations, have 7 patients came to the hospital, and while the system starting, it will pop up the command line for A is add the patient ID and status, and B for delete the ID, the patient ID and the status. So I will press A for the edit the 7 patient ID and the status in the first patient ID, and here have the 3 types of the status. U is undetermined, F for fair, and S for serious. So for the first patient is in undetermined status, so I key and press Y for continue edit the ID. And patient is in fair status, so I will key in F for continue. And the third patient is in S state, in S for the serious status, and press Y for continue adding the ID until the 7 patient ID is complete. And now here already completed the all 7 patient ID, and I will press N for stop to add the patient ID. And now I will remove the patient that already have recovered, because now already have 2 patients already fully recovered, so I have to remove. So I press Y for continue operate and press D for delete the patient ID. So here you can see that the first patient ID and the status already removed. And press Y for continue removing the second patient. And now you can see the second patient already successfully removed, and this is the third patient. And I will press N for stop removing. And now for searching and sorting list, I will give to my team member. Okay, now I press N to end the operate adding and deleting. Yes, now we show the next function is checking. This function is convenient for the staff to check quickly about the patient information. For example, I click the S and now I enter the patient ID of 132. That will show the detailed data of 132 and the status of the ID. And you want continue to search, just press Y. And now you can search another patient like 101. Yeah, they will show the data for patient 101. Okay, now I don't want to continue to share, so I press the N. That will show out a list of all patient data in this programming, like here. Have all data patient. Greatest is all present for our project.